You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Vanderpump Rules After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Vanderpump Rules After Show.
In the tub up halfway, then ride it with my surfboard.
Welcome to the Vanderpump Rules AfterBuzz TV After Show. This is Season 2, Episode 15, Reunion Part Uno. I'm Jake DuPree, your host, along with my lovely co-host.
Hi, I'm Kristina Zias.
I'm Sabrina Walker.
And I'm English Cleveland.
And we might have Bravo's new it couple, Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix. What's up?
Hello, hello.
Loves it. Thank you guys for being here.
And thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Yes. This was a really interesting episode, seeing that this is the first time that everyone found out that you two are possibly dating, ? Are you dating?
That's the exact answer you guys had on the reunion.
Yeah.
You were like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'll defer.
Yeah. So how would you define it?
I mean, you know.
Just having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not like crazy, like whatever, but I mean, I feel like we are. I don't know.
I don't want to belittle it with the definition.
Exactly. There you go.
It's better
That's a
than
good
that.
answer. I like that.
That's a good answer.
Vague, but very telling. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about, this is going to be an interesting episode because the reunion, it kind of like jumped a lot in some of the subjects matter. But the first thing I want to talk about is Andy calling out Jax for sleeping around, and then everyone just like laughs. And Sabrina, I know you had a moment with this. What do you think?
I can't get over it. Like 300 people and everyone's like, it was awkward, was it not?
Yeah, I mean, it was super awkward. I mean, I guess it's just him, and I guess you all know him, but like, what do we see? What do we not get? That's the question, I guess.
I mean, that's the thing. We've known. I mean, I've known Jax the longest, but yeah, we've all known him for a long time. So this is sort of just like common knowledge that is past the point of being shocking and more just the point of being funny.
Yeah. I mean, more. I don't. I guess it's not embarrassing because at least he's getting some, but I don't know.
I mean, we've said this all season long, and I feel like all series long, Jax just kind of gets excused for everything. And I guess, like, as you said, now it's just kind of funny. It just...
Like it's expected from him. Like
Right.
if he didn't say that, we'd be like, we didn't believe him. So at least he's telling the truth.
Yeah. It's better than a lie. Which is like the whole last season. I remember every time y'all would come on here, it'd be like, he's a liar. He's the biggest liar. But now this season, he stepped it up a notch at the truth department, but it was not necessarily in the best light for you.
Yeah.
I mean, did you have any notion that they had done something? Any idea?
I mean, I thought maybe, but initially it just seemed so ridiculous to me.
But did you think maybe because you heard something, or even before it was ever brought up, was there any suspicions?
I thought maybe, before it had brought up, I thought maybe that there was sort of a little bit of a deep friendship, a deeper sort of friendship or understanding in a way. Because I know, like, for instance, one of the times Jax got arrested, Kristen picked him up from jail or whatever, and I mean, I know she would always, like, say, oh, you know, he screws up, but he's got a big heart and all this shit, and I mean, yeah, you know, like, part of that, I guess, I mean, I could see maybe at that time why she would think that. You know, this was obviously previous to first season or whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's just, I feel like there's no, it's such a hard topic to discuss too, because, I mean, you're not together anymore.
Yeah.
You and Kristen. So it's weird talking about it in like that past tense as well, being like, it happened before, and we like, it's just like an interesting topic to discuss.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Yeah, it's been a lot to accept, and I mean I have accepted it, but yeah, initially I really didn't believe that could happen.
Yeah.
In fact, I was almost looking for any reason to believe that it didn't happen. Really.
Well, I mean, it's just it's so surreal to even think about. I think about if I found out my best friend had been sleeping with my boyfriend, I'd been like, I mean, I feel like that's like literally a knife in your heart.
And then if there was
And
no
your back.
speculation,
Yeah.
it was just like comes out of the blue, like it's super like this is crazy, like someone's playing a prank on you.
Yeah,
I actually,
it's so fake.
it's funny you say that. I actually, when we were at Beso and all that happened, when it was called out in front of everyone, I mean, I was just purely in shock. Like,
Yeah,
I felt
you
like
look shocked.
I didn't feel like I was in reality. I felt like I was on like Punk'd or something. Like,
It just seems so weird. And Ariana working at Villa Blanca, because you worked at Villa Blanca mainly. And did you hear anything about any kind of inklings of this?
No, I didn't hear about any. I didn't know about Katie after Peter's birthday, like saying anything about it. I didn't know anything about it at all until Jax told us all after that one night at Sir. So I was still like reeling from the like, wait, this is a thing? This is like a rumor?
Yeah.
And then when he started saying
It's just weird. Like, there's just no way to discuss it. It's strange.
It's strange that it stayed under wraps as long as it did, too. I mean, there have been so many rumors, and this one, of all of them, to stay hidden is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And you three lived together too, right?
yeah.
You, Kristen, and Jax lived together for a point?
Well, initially it was me and Schwartz, and then Jax moved in because he needed a place to stay. He's like, "Oh, let me crash in." He's like, "Can I crash on your couch, whatever?" I'm like, "Oh God." Schwartz is like, as long as he's not like a big presence or anything. Yeah.
Like, how can that be?
Exactly. And then, like, 2 weeks later, he's got a sheet up going across the living room, and
Oh my
sectioned it
god.
off.
No.
And then it turned into like a year. It was like a year and a half that he lived, and he turned basically the living room into a room. And then at that time, I was with Kristen the whole time, and so many nights there were 4 of us in that apartment, in that 2-bedroom apartment.
Oh my God.
That's really funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like some New York business.
It was, yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. Somebody says I got a 2-bedroom, what they really mean is a 1-bedroom, and somebody
Right.
lives in the living room.
Exactly. I mean, I want to move on a little bit so we can get through this episode a little bit faster because I want to ask you all questions from fans. But Sheena, it was really interesting watching her on this because she was game MVP for me on this episode.
Yes.
Every fire that was starting, I think one of you two said this, Sabrina said this, that she doused the fire like as soon as it started. And then I loved, she would just call everybody out, and she had such
Insight.
a clear head throughout the whole
She
thing.
did.
And
was
she
awesome.
looked so good.
Yeah, she did.
So that definitely helped us
Makeup
all.
on point,
She
hair on
looked
The
point.
hair.
She looked hot.
Good.
It was good. It was a
But
good
she
moment.
did. She spoke from a point where she seemed very neutral, and was just almost like, I feel like she could have been mediating the whole situation. Like, Lisa wasn't necessary, Andy wasn't necessary. I feel like Sheena could have handled the entire.
I mean, she's heard all
reunion.
3 sides of the story too, and probably from Jax too, because I know they hang out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes.
So yeah.
I think she did a great job last night, and I think she was honestly the only person who was just there to like try and be a mutual friend to everyone instead of try and like rile things up. I think she wanted to just like calm it down and get the group back together.
And I know some of us had comments about, speaking of Lisa being there, we all thought that she was trifling a little bit. She was like kicking up dust a little bit.
It's kind of weird because it came after a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills episode where everyone was hating on Lisa. And then to me, I think to you, Tom, at one point, like, you were trying to explain something, and all she was like, "But you lied to me, Tom." And I'm like, "Dude, this isn't about you. Like, shut up."
I know it's your show.
It's your show, obviously, and you're the executive producer in your restaurant, and they all work for you. But who cares if he
And
lied
she said
to
the
you?
same
He had
thing
bigger
to you,
issues.
too.
Yeah,
Both of you.
Yeah, and she like really pressed it.
You looked
lied
me
to
in the
me.
eye.
It's like what does Lisa think I'm gonna do? Ariana's getting a job there. Everything's fine. I'll be like, okay, there's something you should know, Lisa.
By the way.
One time, 3 years ago, me and Ariana kissed once.
Well, I mean,
hilarious.
How did it even get brought up in the first? Like, who was it that Lisa asked, would it be a problem if you came there? Was she talking to
Kristen.
And,
Kristen said she loves you.
She's like, no, like, I love her.
But then on the reunion, she was like, I lied.
Yeah.
Like,
So Lisa could have been like, I think she could turn to every single person
Yeah.
on this show and been like,
You
you lied to me, you lied to me, you
Of
lied
course,
to me.
of course.
You
So
all
it's just
lied.
interesting that she would call the two of you out.
she had to have a problem with
Somebody.
everybody.
See, I know better than the, I mean, look, if I was ever in Lisa's position, I would know better than to ask certain questions because I know I'm not going to get an honest answer. Like, I don't feel like, those kind of questions are the questions that you ask somebody when you're bringing them on to work. Like, really, like, it's not really any of her business.
No, yeah. I mean, I think if there wasn't a show, I don't think that would necessarily come up.
I mean, a criminal
Would it?
record is one thing.
Like if she killed someone, okay. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she shouldn't be like cutting limes, Like don't do that. But I don't know. In real life, I don't think that conversation would ever happened. Maybe. I don't know what this. I mean, the line is so blurred over at that restaurant. Like I don't know what she
It
knows
is
and
very
what she
blurred.
doesn't know. And like Kristen can call her at the pool and be like, "Don't let Ariana work here anymore." Like I mean, like, the line is just blurred. And I know it's a show, but it's like, she's still a boss, and I don't know. You still work at a restaurant too,
Yeah.
so it's strange. I don't know.
Definitely.
And another thing is, Jax. They were talking about the whole Stassi and Jax situation, and Lisa made a good point that Jax has never had a girl say no to him. And then Andy was like, "Oh, a girl's never said no to you," and he was like, "No, a girl's never said no to me."
Yeah.
That was kind of gross to me.
Is that true, though?
Hell no, that's not true.
Yeah, he lied for it to not be true. Like, of
I just
course.
needed to ask. I needed to ask.
Yeah, of course. He wants to say that, and we all want to think that.
What does he like? Have this special like Jedi mind control? You will sleep with me.
Yeah.
You.
And
sleep
pants
with
will
me.
drop.
I just feel like he always says that, and I was getting sick of that. So I just wanted to know.
Yeah. He got off really easy on this part one. I was like,
Yeah, he
okay,
did.
part two better deliver because he has to answer to somebody, at least.
Part 2 is it steps up quite a notch.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good.
I will say that, and if you guys watch the show, and I don't know, but I've been openly not a fan of Jax this entire series just because he kind of grosses me out, and he seems like a total dick, to be honest with you. So I said it, and I was tweeting about the show last night, and I can't tell you how many people I was reading tweets that were like, "Oh my God, I would cheat on my husband for Jax," and I was so. I know it was
So-
very disturbing. I
Ew.
was like, "Unfollow you." No, I'm kidding. But really, I mean, and on top of it, I work at the Grove, and Jax happens to frequent the Grove a lot.
Trolling for girls.
He's trolling for girls at the Grove, and people be
Pick
like, "Oh my
opportunity.
God,
Hey,
that's
guys.
Jax." It's weird. It's weird.
Another thing that I wanted to talk to you two about, because you'll know more about this, but the whole Stassi going MIA. What happened? I know because she was in New York a lot. Like I would see on her Instagram, she was in New York, and that's where her boyfriend lives, and that's where she lives now. But, I mean, like, what happened? Did she just not show up for work?
Well-
Did she get her shifts covered? Like, what happened?
I don't know. It seems kind of weird to me because initially, when the whole talks came about to do this show, Stassi was, of course, gung ho about it. Just like, yes, finally. I mean, she's already been on what? The Amazing Rays,
Not
Bees.
Batgirls,
Queen
fuck yeah.
Bees, some other show as well.
Was she?
Like,
I didn't
yeah.
know she was
that.
on 2 other reality
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah,
You didn't know
she's-
that?
I didn't know that
No.
either.
Yeah,
She was on
really?
Amazing Race with her family.
And like
gosh.
another like teen reality show.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been. This is like at least maybe 3, maybe 4. So, anyways, and then like first season, it's like she's just all about everything, and everybody's it's all about her and everything. And even this season too, like very much in everybody's business, sort of just instigating a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then when everything, when shit hits the fan and everything gets crazy, it's like she's just like, oh my gosh, this is like too much for me.
I
And
agree. She plays the victim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like it's gross.
I don't like it either.
It's freaking gross. I
Do you think she's gonna
it
come
irks
back?
me like no other. I mean, I think she will. I think she would be dumb not to.
Mm-hmm.
But
so
I
can
mean,
you
we've
confirm
had.
there's a season 3?
I can't. I can't confirm because we haven't been told that yet.
I mean, I would think so since your numbers have been awesome the past few episodes.
Yeah.
I would hope. I would hope.
I've been really happy about that as well. But what I'm saying, you know, another thing too is like, the thing with Patrick is that basically she met him, I guess, doing interviews, and then he would bring her on the show, I guess a few times. I don't know, I never saw it, and I guess they sort of just fell in love, and she started tweeting about it and talking about it in interviews, and I texted her and said something to her. I was like, hey, you know, can you not broadcast your love over, like, people are still wondering about the show.
And they also want to know, are Jax and Stassi going to get back together?
Exactly, while the show's on.
That's a big storyline. I mean, that's like the whole first season was their storyline.
Yeah, and coming into the second season as well. People are wondering what's going to happen. And she's tweeting this guy Patrick and whatnot, and she, like, blew up at me and said, I'm not going to make him feel insecure. I'm like, dude, this guy Patrick's on the radio. Like, he knows how it works. He knows you got to live your life 6 months in the past, and that's the way it is, you know. And she just like got all pissy about it, and then she moved to New York because she's like, I can't take any of you guys. You guys are like so crazy, blah blah blah. Like what you're doing to me. And so she's been living in New York, and now she's totally New York. She went and got her New York haircut. And now she's like, I rode the subway, and I'm like.
That's really funny.
That is hilarious.
I mean,
haircut.
She did get her New York haircut. She sat in the chair and she was like, can I have the New York haircut?
And like, okay, we're going to shop at Shoulder Length.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give her the Carly Kloss. For those of you that are gay and know what that is.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 me. All right. And another thing is that Stassi makes this point. She was like, she can't be around this group professionally. And I think Andy answered that question for her, that she couldn't be around them. And it made me wonder, like, I got a vibe that she wasn't interested in doing the show anymore. Like, and I think English, you got the same vibe.
Yeah.
That she said she was like, done.
I just feel like now, because she's so, like, self-centered about her, and now you know, now the new thing is if you guys are together, like, things are progressed. No one cares. Everyone knows that her and Jax aren't going to get back together. And she only has Katie. She doesn't have Kristen. So it's, like, not really much of a storyline for Stassi anymore. And so I feel like she's probably like, I don't want, you know, I'm the victim. No one likes me, and I should make my exit.
See, I didn't get that at all. I kind of got like, I want to do the show. I just don't want any of you in it.
Well, of course she would like that,
that's
because
the
it would.
vibe I got.
Yeah, of course she would like that, because then it would be all about her.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, do you honestly think that maybe she would get a spinoff? Like a New York spinoff? Like The Hills or The City or whatever?
I think if she did, I think it would fail.
Really?
Yeah, because, I mean, what are they going to do? Just have a bunch of people around her that are kissing her ass? Like, that's what she wants.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Jax isn't going to deal with it anymore. Like, you know, the only person there that's going to put up with it is Katie. And even if she does get people in there, it's not going to be believable.
Yeah, because you think they would cast it or something.
Probably. I mean,
probably.
well, like, you can imagine, exactly. It would be a casted show, and it wouldn't be the kind of relationships and dynamic that we have on our show because we've known each other for so long and been so close for so long.
And that's the thing, I did say this to, I think, Kristen and Katie last season when we interviewed them. I was like, I really like watching this show because I can tell there's really deep-rooted things. Like, it's a genuine, it's not like they hired you to come in and be like, okay, you're friends or whatever. Like, what they do with the Housewives, like, they are brought together. This group is not. Like,
yeah,
and actually...
And their fights
the
are,
drama.
like, over, like, oh, well, one time when you got drunk, you said something that's kind of racist, or, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just, like, they, like, get in these,
Someone
like, they
watches The
nitpick
Housewives.
every little conversation and, like, you know, make it a huge, big deal about, like, just, like, oh, well, you know, yellow's my favorite color, and you're wearing yellow to be, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's stuff that, like, doesn't make it into our show. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just have so much bigger things that are going on.
It's true. I mean, and a lot of the news shows have not been working, in my opinion. I think, like, several of them, it's just the drama is just not there.
It's not
like, it's
there.
not real. And I know that there has to be a situational moment in every reality show where it's like you're gonna be here and you're gonna be filming this.
Oh, of course.
Of
and
course,
that's one
it
thing
has to be.
And
it
that's
has
one
to be
thing,
that way.
And that's one thing actually I want to address because I've been getting all these. There's this thing on Twitter about like, oh, Lisa admitted that like she didn't really want Sheena at this party or something, but production made her or whatnot.
Oh.
And so.
About the whole Brandine situation.
And so everybody's like, oh, the show's scripted. It's like, well, look, like, people can't just follow us everywhere we go with cameras. Like, that's illegal.
Yeah.
So you have to, once our schedules are checked and we see what's going on, they see who's going to be there. And yes, you do have to show up at certain things that maybe sometimes you might not want to show up for, but you do have to show up for. Now, the conversations and the issues that are happening at that point are real.
Mm-hmm. And it probably gets heightened, too, because it's like you feel like you have to talk about it at that point.
Well,
in a way, you do feel it because it's a production. It is.
Yeah, you do have to talk about serious issues. I mean, they'll get talked about no matter what. It's not like it starts off that way, but usually, when we're there for a while, they'll cut it down to the really important things,
Mm-hmm.
and after like 3 or 4 drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right, exactly. After drinking, they're like, perfect. Keep
drinking
drinking more.
Yeah, here, free alcohol. Something I asked Katie and Tom when they were here a few weeks ago, I said, do you think this stuff about Kristen and about the two of you, do you think it would have come out if the show wasn't a show? Do you think that the situation would still be the same? Like, do you think you'd still be in a relationship with Kristen?
Well, a mutual friend of me and Jax's told me recently that Jax was talking about how he was hooking up with Kristen when he took a trip to Vegas with Jax like a while ago.
So it would have come out.
So I think it would eventually have come out.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Things around SUR do not stay secret.
Yeah.
With cameras or not cameras, like they do not.
It can get messy, I feel like.
Can I ask you something? Because a little birdie told me that there's been some other cheating going on. Is there anything that's happened recently that might be an issue for next season with the current cast?
Not necessarily with them, right?
No, not with them.
Not you
with
two guys.
other people.
With the other
what
people.
What do you know?
Well, I mean, I have heard rumors
Okay.
about maybe some things, but I don't know. Nothing has been confirmed.
Okay.
So
But it's SUR, so it might be soon enough.
it is SUR, yeah. So, I mean, it could be true, it could not be true. Because I remember even, like, there were rumors of me and Ariana that, like, we had, like, made out of Coachella. That,
Behind
like,
a porta potty.
Behind a porta potty.
Really
that
romantic.
we were grinding all over each other to Vampire Weekend, which is perfect music to grind to.
If I'm going to grind to anything, it's going to be Vampire Weekend.
Completely. I mean, it's like Mad Libs. It's like there's blanks, and then you can fill it in wherever you want to. Like they made out at the porta potty. Like
yeah,
just
exactly.
Add words in, and it's like an adjective or a noun, a place, whatever. Like that's what it seems like, and but that's gossip and that's telephone. Speaking of telephone, I do want to bring up that whole conversation that Kristen brought up with you saying about that somehow she had created that whole lie about the two of you.
Oh, the rumor game of telephone.
Yes, the rumor game of telephone. And I wanted to know, I feel like you didn't get to actually have a response, or we didn't get to see your response to that. Like, why did you say that when it actually
was something that was
happened?
kind of, like, suggested to me as an idea. And I was like,
That
that's
makes
actually
sense.
funny. That would maybe make sense if that had happened.
Yeah.
And so I said it. And then she took it as, like, that I, like, was real, But I was just kind of like, oh, that's a funny observation.
It's a funny concept.
Yeah, like
I
that,
see that.
I could see that happening. Like if I said something to you, however long ago, and then it came all the way back. You know what I mean? Like
3
if it
years
took that
ago.
long,
Yeah.
maybe.
Can we talk about the dynamic? Because obviously you guys have been friends for a while and you work together. I mean, how did your friendship go beyond work? Because we saw, like, I know you guys went to Buffalo Exchange or like whatever store you went to in the show, but
Jet rag.
Jet rag. Okay, but we talked about it for a while, and like it's really interesting because you guys seem so great together, and it's really nice to to see people kind of just get along, because one, you don't see that often, and when it seems really genuine and refreshing and just two people having a good time. And we saw that a lot between you two more than probably any other people, cast members in the show. But I know obviously it was an issue for Kristen, and it got us thinking, and I'm like, you know, I don't think my boyfriend would be really happy if I was with my guy friend shopping, if he was concerned about it. And I think, you know, it is a very fine line. So what were your relationship? Like, what were your standards? How were you guys communicating, like hanging out, that made her so worried? Or were you ever worried about crossing that line?
No. And we have been friends, but we would go like a month, 2 months without even talking to each other.
Right.
We would work together, and it was more of a friendship based at work, you know, and we would just have fun behind the bar. And I mean, I thought she was really cool initially just because of how chill, laid back, and like funny she was. And we would just joke around all night, like whatever, while we were working. Plus she worked hard too, you know, and like, I mean, really, like, Kristen had people at Villa Blanca like watching us all the time, like reporting to her and like all this stuff.
What?
Yeah, and we never hung out ever like without other people around. Like there was always other people around. It was always in a social situation. That was a very rare occurrence for us to like go
to be
and do
doing
that.
something just like
Yeah.
And also people have said a lot of stuff to me about like if you knew she had a problem, why wouldn't you back off? Like, why would you continue to it? And it's like, no, do people really think that I sat here and like texted and call him every day? Do people really think that I was like putting
like
this huge effort into this friendship, like knowing that somebody wasn't comfortable with it? And it was not like that at all. I would be like, ooh, like not.
So we would talk. We would sometimes have text conversations, and it would be a lot of like joking around or whatever, and then we wouldn't talk for a really long time. That's really how it happened, like how we were.
How'd you guys transition into today?
Well, you know,
I mean, they said on the show, did Kristen like basically like push you guys to be together?
Drive it.
Yeah.
Well, look, I gotta say, one thing that really, I kind of came to this realization that was after we were done with shooting the whole season, that really, I mean, her and Schwartz were the only people, you know, besides Sheena too, but initially in the beginning of the season, me and Sheena had a little bit of some issues and stuff. And I realize now, of course, I could trust Sheena, you know, and me and her have gotten very close, and we have always been close, pretty much, you know, we've had a few little things here and there. But really, like, from beginning to end, the only people I felt like I could trust were Schwartz and Ariana. Like, even Kristen was just so like my enemy, just constantly trying to throw me under the bus, like giving me shit, putting me down, like social situations, passive aggressive, like, and just not like I would constantly be like, babe, look at Sheena and Shay, like they're like so happy, they always have each other's backs, like she doesn't sit there and put down Shay in front of, and vice versa, you know, they're always like their number one cheerleader. And it, like, hanging out with her after, you know, when it was all said and done, I realized kind of with having Kristen be so emotionally unstable all the time that I just wanted something more like.
Do you feel like
solid
it inhibited
stable.
you in your life?
Yes.
Being in a relationship with her?
Yes, a lot. Like, I really do. And the biggest thing is that I would never, like, call up my parents or my friends and bitch about Kristen.
I mean, because you don't, they're gonna,
because that's
be
a bad
them.
reflection on me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you don't want them to like have this preconceived notion that you're like
exactly. But Kristen would do the opposite. She would tell everyone like, "Oh, Tom did this, Tom did that," and like, and then everyone would sort of just be jaded about me. You know, her friends in particular, Stassi and Katie. You know, but it even got to the point where Stassi and Katie were like, Kristen, like, chill out. Like, especially on her birthday this last year. Like, they even pulled her aside and were like, Kristen, you're being a complete, like asked to Tom.
On
like,
Kristen's birthday?
On her birthday, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was her? Remember her tweet when she tweeted when she like left and you guys had like a little break and she went home and she like got to the airport. Remember? And she like,
oh yeah.
What did that mean? What did she say again?
She said she was like we're the best together and stuff. You two had the fight and then she went to the airport and then supposedly she was tweeting about the two of you being perfect together.
But then she said something crazy, Alice.
Crackheads?
Yes, exactly.
Crackheads.
Why did she say that?
I think she just meant like, I mean, I always refer to that when you like stay up late all night and then
you're,
the
like,
next
cracked
day and
out.
you're just like, oh my god, I feel like
Oh my god, you guys, Kristen's
actual-
doing crack.
yeah,
No,
no,
but I'm
not-
like, we didn't get. I'm like, what does she mean by that?
I don't know
Weird.
what she was saying. I don't know, but yeah, I mean that's.
And also, you brought up the fact that she had slept with someone else while you were in a relationship, and
Not just Jax.
not just Jax.
Not
there was
just
someone else.
not just that person either.
But
Yeah.
did you
more?
when did you find this out? Did you find out in the relationship?
No, yes, she finally admitted about this 3-month thing going on that was in this episode, right?
Uh-huh.
They kind of blur together
With
a little bit.
James?
With
Oh, with
Right.
James?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, not James. This other guy.
Oh yeah, another. Was he he worked at?
He
Sir,
was, yeah, he was a
correct?
busser, and this was years ago. And they had this 3-month long, like talking every day, like hanging out all the time, late nights, like spent the night with him on his birthday, spent the night with him the day before he left, like to go back to Argentina. Like, dude, she
What?
had all this things going on. And then and I knew they had slept together, everybody did. But she finally admitted it to me, like when I admitted that I had kissed Ariana. She finally admitted it
And
to me.
what was the time span of that? Was it years? Was it months? Was it
That
when she when she
it
actually
had been
did
years.
Oh.
So if you
And then when we first got into a relationship as well, she had been hooking up with her ex-boyfriend as well.
Did she hook up with the guy who did her reel?
Shady.
The guy that was you mean the guy that was in her reel on that?
No, the one that was editing her reel.
No.
He was a fan.
Well,
He was
you're
a
saying
fan.
she hooked up with multiple
He was a
people.
fan.
He was definitely a fan.
So he saved that footage to his computer.
Tom,
I was like,
why do you think you kind of put up with it, or do you think it was just like a comfort thing?
Well, we would have these things would happen, and I'd be like, I'm done, and she'd be like, no, and like, and would just begging, and then would all like be around me, and eventually I would just like kind of cave.
Even.
Yeah.
and it's also for like, it's difficult. I feel like there's always one person in the relationship that always remembers always remembers the good stuff.
Of
Of course,
too.
yeah.
I feel like there's always someone that
I would always be
does
thinking
that.
like, God, if she just won like, you know what I mean? And I knew she was making mistakes and being stupid. Like, I don't know.
And
I don't
I
know
mean,
what I mean. There were
did
parts
you-
about her I really did love. You know, of course.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. And also, when she would throw this in your face, being like, "Did you and Ariana actually hook up?" Did you ever want to throw it in her face and be like, "I know that you slept with someone else"?
Yeah, I did, and I would bring it up, and she'd be like, "Don't bring up the past." It's like, well, you're bringing up the past.
Yeah.
It's like you were
And
in,
of
y'all were in
course-
this vicious cycle like all the time. That's gonna be exhausting.
It was exhausting because I'm like, why do you always bring this up? Why are you throwing this? When we first started filming the season, it was like she made it her job to like bring up about this thing in Vegas, and I'm like, well, do you want me to bring up like your past? Because the whole entire season I got called this lying, cheating piece of shit when it's like Kristen started off our relationship cheating. And the previous guy she was with before me, their entire relationship, she cheated on him with me.
Wow. Well,
Oh,
good for
shit.
you for not bringing it up like the entire season, because you could have fought back.
I know,
Yeah,
I
fought
did, but
dirty.
to me it's like, let's focus on the good times. Let's focus on being in
Right.
love. Like, and I would project that in our relationship. She'd be like, we're glorified roommates. You don't love me, blah, blah, blah. Like, she was always so quick to go to the negative all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Ariana,
know.
did it ever worry you being like, dude, you gotta like let this shit go?
I mean, I mean, I've cared about Tom for a really long time, being his friend, and so like to me it was always just like, well, is this like, I want you to do whatever is best for you.
Right.
So like if you are happy and you're in love, I absolutely want you to be there because that's what's important to me. But if you're not, and these are the things that are happening, and you're finding out about these things, and you really need to maybe like deal with that, because you don't want to wake up 5 more years down the line and be in the same situation,
Right.
or have had this happen again, or whatever.
I could tell you that within our friendship, like when we would talk about each other's, you know, she would talk about her relationship that she was in. And it was never a thing like, you guys should do that, break up or whatever. We would always try to like be positive and encourage each other. Like I would give her advice for her boyfriend, she would give me advice for, you
and
know.
that's what friends do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was a positive thing. And you know, I gotta say, like, as much as it's very focused on the negative things with me and Kristen, like, you know, and our relationship was very much up and down, and you do only hear about the bad things.
Or that's what we get to see as viewers,
exactly,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
But there were also very, very great times, and you know, that's the stuff I really tried to focus on, was all the good stuff. You know?
I could see that in watching you, even without knowing you or anything. I don't know. I felt that. I would get that vibe. Because it was always just like attacky from her.
And you
and
were
I don't want to dog
forward.
her, and I don't want to say mean things about her, but it just seemed like it was just a nasty cycle that neither one of you should be a part of.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know.
Relationships are hard.
They are hard.
They're really hard. It's a lot of work, and especially when, I mean, you're both have this great partnership and are working towards other things, so you rely on each other for so many different factors that sometimes it's easy for the love to become secondary.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like not only with your relationship, but with every single person's or everyone's relationship, and it's just goes to show you it's a constant struggle, and there's good and bad. And I'm sure just cameras don't make it any easier.
Certainly not.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask how people have responded to you guys together now on like social media. Have people been supportive, or have you been getting a lot of crap from people?
I would say.
I'd say like 95% supportive.
That's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
And 5% like, like
Yeah.
people who are just like
Snake in the grass.
snake in the. Oh yeah, that's the best one.
That's your
Snake.
is that your housewife's tagline?
Yes, snake in the grass.
I'm a snake in the grass.
Oh, she's been what she wanted him this whole time. Well, I'm like, okay,
But you were in a relationship
Sure.
as well.
yeah. Which obviously is not show related, so no one's ever gonna talk about it.
Yeah, of course.
You know. But that was also a huge ups and downs, and you know, I feel like I did the best I could, and
You know, some things don't work out, and then some things do.
yeah.
It's just interesting. I'm interested to see. I hope that y'all will get a next season. I think that it will be awesome, and I do think that you will become a permanent cast member. I really do think that.
I
Because
mean, there are people who are like, she's just hanging out because, and honestly, like, as
And-
much as I love the show, and I do want to be a part of it, that is secondary for me when it comes to like my real life.
And I remember the
So-
first time, actually, when we met you at Sheena's birthday party, that first time when that's on the show, it was the first
Yeah.
episode, I think. You were saying you were like so nervous to be
Yeah.
asked to even be on the show. Like you didn't want to be a part of it at all.
Well, I knew what was coming.
Yeah.
You knew what you were getting yourself into.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I knew the subject matter that was going to be pressed upon me.
And what do you think about Kristen saying that you wanted to be on the show just to get with Tom, basically?
I don't even know how to address
I don't know how
It's
I don't know
like-
how
That's
that must
so
be like
outside of
very
reality.
that's like Stassi mastermindish to be like, I am gonna join this show and then this is gonna be the end result.
Yeah, like
I
that's-
know this is gonna happen. It's
It
just
is
gonna be
very
this big
Stassi
maze.
mastermind.
I feel
Yeah.
like maybe someone said that to like told Kristen that, and she like repeated it, because I can't imagine her actually thinking that about me, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't
I mean, I know
even know-
I know she thinks a lot of things about me that are not.
I don't even know if
best,
she actually
but I don't
believes
think
that.
I don't think
Yeah.
she really believes that either, because it's.
I think who was it that we were watching the show and someone said that Kristen was just trying to like dig up stuff the entire time.
We're like, she has
Yeah.
nothing to lose. You know?
I felt like she was very contradictory to herself.
A lot of
She'd
the
be like,
things-
"Oh my God, you're the you know." She'd be like, "Well, of course I love him. He's the love of my life." And then
And
it's
then-
like, "You're banging James." Like, yeah, I'm banging James. Who cares? Like, it was really weird.
I saw the
What was her
Vanderpump
favorite
Tumblr.
line?
Damn right.
Damn right. Damn right. I'm an adult.
On the Vanderpump Tumblr, it
Adult.
said like they did all these gifs of the reunion, and back to back was, "I couldn't be more sorry," and then "Sorry, not sorry." and then there was a bunch of other good ones, but those two were like right by each other.
I will say that I did feel like Kristen was ganged up on a lot. It might just be the editing. It might, we don't see everything, but I do feel like it was a lot. And even Andy was saying, you know, like, kind of like probing
Like, do you
at her.
think you're really an adult?
Yeah.
But
and then
the whole
yeah, it's just
season
weird.
too, not just in the reunion. The whole season she was ganged up on.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think.
I
but
don't think she was.
I don't think.
You don't think she was?
No.
No.
Really?
I think each person took their own hit. Like, I think he was the first victim, and I think, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But I feel like the reunion. I mean, a lot of the drama did revolve around her. So of course the conversation is going to go to her.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
just like a lot of attacky things. And Andy, I didn't feel like he didn't need to get involved
Yeah,
in
what was
Lisa too,
that?
saying some things. I was just like, it just was
I did feel like
distasteful.
Andy was kind of like,
Do you think?
know.
I just don't
do
think he
you-
cares for her. I get the feeling that he doesn't like her.
I don't know.
Do you guys think that when like the news was broken at Beso and all of that, was that like an ambush to you? Do you guys think
Oh
that?
my God, like no other.
Do you think it was right?
Hell no.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't. I mean, I think Stassi and everyone were, especially Stassi in particular, was very selfish when it came to that. Like she really had no regard for my feelings or anything when it came to that. And then like we're at the photo shoot and she's like, "Oh, you have a support system if you need it." It's
Right.
like, yeah, Stassi, like I'm gonna call you up and talk to you about it. Like
You
Well,
got what you wanted.
yeah, exactly. She didn't care about anything but herself, and she really didn't care much about, like, I really don't even think it hurt her that bad. I feel like it more was just like a chance for her to
Humiliate someone.
Be a mean
to-
girl.
Yeah, be a mean girl. To prey on somebody and be right about it.
I mean, I did say this on the after show. I was like, that's impressive that she could get the entire staff who's been featured on the show to be in one place to say this in front and to humiliate the two of you. Like that's a mastermind move in a sick. I mean, it's a sick in an interesting way
Twisted
to
way.
look at. Just as
There were
just
people
as
there
a
I didn't even.
person.
There were people there that I didn't even know.
That's what I was
That
like.
knew
Wait, who is
more-
that person?
That knew more about my personal life than I did. Like that
that's
is
scary.
fucked up.
And that's not great. Like that's not being a good friend to either one of you at all.
It's gross.
I remember when you, Kristen, and Stassi had that conversation at Sir, you said, I mean, Stassi was trying to make it about her, and you're like, dude, this isn't even about you. Like, I'm so happy that you are so hurt and you're so concerned about this. Because really, you're the person affected in all this, not her at all. And it was really noble for you to, obviously you were really hurt, but to be there by Kristen's side because it was like you couldn't let her handle the vultures alone.
Yeah, no, well, I appreciate that you noticed that. I don't, there's no way Kristen would have been able to go there if I hadn't been by her side.
Right.
Like, and you know, like to me, I understand what she did, but she did it to me, and yeah, she did it to Stassi or whatever too, but let's face it, like Stassi and Jax were not together. She's been stringing him along forever just because she wants her ass kissed. Like,
Right.
I don't feel like she was really that hurt about it. I
No.
feel like she just,
I agree.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
and you know, like, she's just, everything's like about me and me.
You're
like,
like,
that's what
we
she
enjoy your
sounds
birthday
like.
too.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. I cannot take it. Like,
Okay, so question: what do you guys do outside of Sir? Like, do you have like something that you want to do? Like Sheena says she wants, do broadcast journalism and her singing. Do you? Because no, we don't ever get to hear about you guys' personal life outside of Sir. Like,
Yeah, it
if
was like
you
that
have
was the
projects,
first season.
Yeah.
Like they were like, oh, we'll show you what you're actually doing in real life, and this scene it's like all about how much you hate each other.
Yeah.
So, please go.
well, I right now it's pilot season, so been auditioning a lot. I was working on music for a while. That kind of hit a little bit of a snag, and then
With James.
Yeah, exactly.
Dick.
Dick. And then as well as I'm looking at starting a fashion blog.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
You should.
Yeah, thanks. No, I feel like, you know, from modeling for 15 years and really sort of coming up with a lot of really cool things and picking up a lot of things along the way, I feel like I could.
And you honestly, there's no reason why you shouldn't.
Yeah,
so
why
do
not?
it.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really, you know, what I've been working on. But also, too, like with this show, it's like who knows what it's going to bring. And so, I mean, I'm very open-minded and I'm trying to be ready for anything. Really.
And that's what we've all been saying on the show, too. Like, Sheena, we feel like she's the only one who's really taken opportunity outside of the show to, like,
Move forward.
make some more coins
Yeah.
with it. So that's what we recommend for all of you to do is, like, really use this opportunity to think about what's
And if their
coming
cameras
next.
are there, let them follow.
Yeah, and talk about your damn products.
Yeah, be like, hey.
I mean, I really tried to push for that. It's, you know, but.
What makes, what's going to be on the editing room floor.
Maybe you should sing and get on the bar. And wear gold glitter.
I'm really. I'll tell you what. I have been in, you know, numerous bands and I've played a lot of music. With me, I'm very picky and particular, and as well, like with the whole band situation, and one of the things I was really working on with James especially was getting to a point where I could perform like anywhere.
Right.
Because in the band situation, you have to have a venue. You can't just plug in like Sheena could literally plug in her iPhone and grab a microphone and be good as gold.
Right.
So,
Literally.
so.
I want to get to some fan questions because they had some really great ones. Kevin and his Twitter handle is @thefaceofgenius. He said, "Can Tom Sandoval? I want to ask him what has he learned from his relationship with Kristen about being a better and more loyal boyfriend."
I've learned that, you know, really you shouldn't want to cheat on the person you're with, and you need to ask yourself the question of like, why are you doing this, and is it worth it, and what are you really accomplishing by doing this? And really, I mean, I think I've learned a lot when it just comes to what I really want in a relationship and what's really important to me. And really, it's just that's it. Like it's really opened up my eyes on like maybe what the right type of person is for me.
Completely.
That's good.
Also, we got, this is a really funny one, and it's kind of rude to you, but I have to read it. It's from @Rosie Palms, and she said, "Ask Tom Sandoval when he will remove his tampon and stop playing victim. He cheated too, so." Clever use of words.
Yeah.
Right? Funny. Funny.
I will, you know, I'll work on that probably, you know, in a minute here. I'll go to the bathroom and
remove it, show us what's going to happen.
Super plus.
I mean, the thing is, though, the reason why maybe I'm a little butthurt is because I was never allowed to speak my mind or talk about. I mean, I had to go and watch What Happens Live and still get all this heat, knowing all of these things. And again, the reason why I gave Stassi so much shit is because, yeah, Stassi, you have to deal with like a month or something of this. Like, I have to deal with the entire season of this shit. Being called a lying, cheating piece of shit by you, Stassi, who has cheated and lied yourself. So it's like, it really just annoyed the hell out of me because it's like my past gets brought up, Kristen's does not, and I just have to deal with it. So yes, I am a little bit, you know, bitter.
Yeah. Ariana, this is for you. She says, this is Gina Lorelei, and she says, #Team Ariana. And she said, how do you and Kristen navigate through your relationship if you're working together?
I've seen Kristen around numerous times. I just feel like I'm pretty good at playing.
I feel like you're not going to make a big deal.
Like, I don't. And, like, you know, even right after all of this stuff is happening and the stuff with her and Jax and her blowing up at me, whatever, it's kind of like you just, at least for me, I just ignore all of that and put my head down and I do my job and I do my thing.
Has she tried to talk to you or say anything?
Mm-mm.
Oh, good.
Nope.
Good.
And that's probably best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave it at that.
Yeah, if there's like a group of people, I'll be like, hey.
Yeah.
You know,
And,
whatever.
and I want
It's
you to
fine.
answer English's question
Yeah, I want-
too. What
yeah.
do you do outside of?
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
an
yeah.
actor.
Yes. And she's appeared on. Tell us all the shows that you've appeared on because you've done some stuff.
Yay.
I was on the Pete Holmes show. I was on Dad's. I was on the College Humor show back when that was a show. And I mean, mostly what I do is comedy, sketch comedy.
And you do
I wrote
improv,
a-
right?
I do some improv, but I haven't really done that since I moved here as much, just because it's like a cult, which is it's lovely and it's great, but it gets very intense. And I wrote a sketch series. I'm trying to shoot it. It's called Well, That Escalated Quickly.
Oh, that's fun.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And would it be like? Would you incorporate your friends? Did you like have people in mind for that?
Yeah, one of them is basically just me and my cat and my dog. And then one of them involves Snapchat, like sending pictures back and forth, which I would need like a guy for, so I'm sure I would ask a guy I know to do it. Yeah, but of course, I would incorporate my friends. I mean, it'd be really cool. Maybe now people will actually see it.
Yeah.
We'll be like,
Again,
my
this
mom
is your
being like, that
platform.
was really funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Please, this is from Laura, Real Housewives of North Carolina. And she said, Ariana and Tom, please ask why no Peter on the reunion, and if he was the one that Kristen was having the affair with. So we cleared that up because Peter's not a busser, so.
Yeah, no.
No. And why wasn't he on the
Which
reunion?
affair?
Shady palm tree, right here. Shady palm tree. And why wasn't he on the reunion? We love a little pirate.
They actually, Peter, Schwartz, Christina Kelly, Shay, they were all supposed to come in at certain points in time later on, because most of the time in the reunions they will recap the entire season.
Yeah.
Right.
So they did some of the stuff with Jax and Stassi, but when it came to us, it's like, really, what do we want to know about? We want to know what's going on right now. And and with us, I mean, so much stuff happens all the time. It's not like Housewives where they go on hiatus and then like they come back and then it's like
Right.
The same stuff.
Right.
we
Yeah.
are around each other all the time when we're shooting, when we're not. So it's like things always happen and things change. And obviously since the finale and the reunion, a lot of things have changed. So really that's what he wanted to address instead of like, you know, the Lake Arrowhead show or whatever, like, you know.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and I think, Christina, you said, why wouldn't Christina Kelly be on the show? And I was like, well, she didn't have a storyline.
Christina Kelly was pretty much like the audience in a way.
Yeah.
When something would happen that would happen off camera, it would be like, what? So, Christina
Wow.
Kelly, let me tell you what happened last night.
Right.
But
She
it's really
kind of-
like,
she kind
let's
of
tell
had,
the
like,
audience.
the same role as
hilarious.
Katie,
It's
too.
very true.
She had the same role as
I
Katie
realized that.
sometimes.
Exactly. And, you know, she was up Stassi's ass.
Christina
Yeah.
Kelly did have a really beautiful green dress that day. I'm really sad nobody got to see it.
So she was there.
They were all there waiting for hours, and they never got
No.
in. Yeah.
I see.
Oh, God. I hope she Instagrammed it, I hope.
Wow.
I have this
Wish I
question from Twitter from Losing Sleep. He wants to know, Tom, if there's any chance that you ever see yourself getting back with Kristen.
I've answered this
Sorry, that's
many
kind of
times.
awkward to ask. I
No,
feel.
it's not awkward at all.
Okay.
I really don't. I mean, of course, there's sort of like, you know, a familiarity there, obviously, but really, I can't see it happening. It's just not. I've come to the realization that it's just not something I want in my life.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah.
not something I
And
want.
this is interesting for you, Ariana. It's a little interesting. At Voice of Sarcasm says, how does Ariana feel about a guy named Josh who claims to be her ex contacting Kristen on Twitter? I was like, how do these people know this stuff? I don't like.
Yep, that's my ex-boyfriend. That's who I was with all during filming. He and I started dating.
The first season, right? Or
He and I started dating when I was in Vegas, like right after Golden Nugget, whatever.
yeah, that's right.
And how do I feel about him contacting Kristen? I haven't spoken to him in months, and so I kind of just feel like, why?
Right.
Wait, is he
Like-
contacting Kristen to like hook up with Kristen or to like trash talk you or what's going on?
I think he would really enjoy bringing me down.
And he probably wants to be on the show.
He's,
I don't know.
from what I
don't think he
understand,
really hates reality television.
from what I understand,
Anyway.
that he kind of had this sort of like habit of doing that to you.
Bringing me, yeah.
He didn't get along with
I don't
Sheena.
want to. I don't want to.
Give him.
I don't want to
his time.
say things bad about. I don't that too. I also don't want to say things bad about him because I don't want to give him an opportunity to say things bad about me. Nobody's perfect, myself included.
Leave it
Leave
at
it
that.
at that.
Do we have any predictions?
Let's move
Talk
into some
later.
predictions. Brum.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
My prediction is that I want to see Sheena go after somebody on the reunion. I feel like next week we're going to get to. And I feel like she's going to go after Kristen a little bit. Because she kind of she was like, if this starts becoming, we're going to have a problem. And I was like, I want to see Sheena get angry.
I want to see Stassi get it a little bit. I feel like people need to gang up on her because everyone is always on Team Stassi, and someone needs to be honest with her and let her know that she does not rule the world. So that's that.
My prediction is Jax is going to get some shit.
Hopefully.
And I'm really hoping it happens.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My
sorry.
prediction would be for you guys to go on iTunes, give us 5 stars, rate, comment, tell us how much you love Ariana and Tom being here with us today, and also tell us how much you love us because we're awesome too.
Yes. So that's
Anything
the
else?
show. I want to say thank you, the two of you, because I am rooting for you. I said in the show, and I've probably got in trouble for saying it, but I really thought you were a cute couple, and I hope that whatever happens, I hope you're both happy. So that's all that
Yeah,
matters.
we've loved you guys all
Yes.
season.
And you can
Thank
find
you,
me
thank you.
on Twitter at Jake_DuPree and on Instagram and my website at Jake DuPree.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Zias.
Twitter and Instagram at Sabrina P. Walker.
Instagram at Pink English, Twitter English Speaks.
And Tom, where can we find you?
Instagram, Twitter, Tom Sandoval 1.
And Miss Ariana.
Twitter, Ariana2525, and Instagram, Ariana252525.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week with a certain X.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.